And we continue to follow this developing news this morning of what may be another homicide here in Albuquerque. This is one man is in the hospital right now and is barely alive.
Police have spent all night trying to iron out exactly what happened. News 13's David Romero is live near the subway at Manal and Princeton in northeast Albuquerque. David, we know something went down at the subway there, possibly a fight of some sort.
That's exactly right, Elizabeth. As you can see behind me, the scene has long since been cleared. Now, here are the details of what investigators tell us happened. It started here last night. Now, police say some sort of fight happened between a man and another person. This was about 6 last night at the subway on Manal. Investigators think one person was buying food here, but they have no idea what started the fight. What they do know is the fight kept going down the road to Princeton and Claremont, where a 911 call came in about a man found in the street. Now, officers rushed over there. They found a man in bad shape, and they rushed him to the hospital. The last update that we heard is he's still alive, but in critical condition. And because of that, police are treating this as a homicide investigation.
We felt, because of the extreme injuries, that it's going to be investigated as a homicide until otherwise.
Now, right now, this is very critical information that police want out there. They are looking for a navy blue Dodge pickup with dual rear wheels. And again, police are still trying to figure out and piece together what happened here last night, but it's critical that they find that car. Back to you.
Very good to know, David. Thank you. And as soon as we get more information from police, we'll be sure to bring it to you both on air and online.
Well, is it a suicide or a homicide? That's what Albuquerque police are trying to figure out now in the case of an officer from Kirtland Air Force Base who died earlier this summer. And this morning, we have learned about something very interesting dealing with this case. Well, it all started when Mark Herrera here was found dead inside of his home here in Albuquerque back in July. His wife, Amy, told police that Mark forced her to shoot him, putting his hand around hers on a gun and pulling the trigger. Well, Mark's family says it was suicide, but the medical investigator is calling it a homicide. And we just found out that Amy's first husband, TJ Collins, also committed suicide just 3 years ago. An autopsy shows that he was very drunk and hanged himself at a party in this apartment in the Heights, but Collins' dad says his son was never suicidal. We asked homicide investigators about these two cases yesterday, and they refused to talk about them. Investigators are now looking for 4 men they say were watching over what looks like a $1 million pot farm in the Manzanos. A man says he was out hunting with his brother early yesterday morning when they stumbled onto the drugs just outside the Cibola National Forest. They say 4 men were watching the farm and shot at them with assault rifles. The 2 are okay now. Later, helicopters went up and found the men, but they ended up disappearing into the woods. Investigators did eventually find that pot with about 200 to 300 plants.
This is an ideal place to grow marijuana. It's very secluded. There is no traffic in or out, and it's very hard to get to by foot. So you have to have ATVs. You have to know the area and the terrain to even get to it.
The Torrance County Sheriff there says even though the men do have guns, he does not think they're a threat to people living in that area.
U.S. Marshals arrest a man wanted in a huge federal drug bus. It's the same bus that landed an Albuquerque firefighter in jail. Agents arrested Norberto Alvarez at a home near Coronado Center. Authorities had been looking for him. They say he was last seen with another man, Jorge Borjorquez, who disappeared in June. Now, both of these men have prior drug arrests. The feds picked up Alvarez on a federal drug warrant. They say he's involved with a group that has strong ties to a Mexican drug cartel. If you'll recall, former Albuquerque firefighter Steve Chavez was previously arrested for his alleged involvement. The main highway in the East Mountains is back to normal this morning. A gravel truck made a mess of the road yesterday afternoon. The big rig turned over and spilled its load on Highway 337 on the south end of Tijeras. It was closed for 4 hours, causing all sorts of problems for school buses and even for the evening commute. No one was seriously hurt.
Well, without a doubt, one of the biggest problems in schools today is bullying, and Albuquerque public schools are now trying to do more to stop it before it starts. In fact, they're having 2 meetings in the next week to talk with parents about this. The first meeting is tonight, where the district's leaders want to talk with parents about what exactly bullying is and how to prevent it, particularly at home. This includes not just bullying, where one kid physically hurts another, but also verbal bullying. And what's becoming more popular and has happened in APS in the last year is bullying online or with text messages.
Bullying is bullying, and so we're not saying that because it was a text message it has lesser or higher priority. Bullying is disruptive, and it's hard, and it has all kinds of emotional and psychological impacts on kids.
The first meeting about bullying is tonight at Cyndia High School. The second is Thursday at LBJ Middle School. Both go from 6 to 8.